What's up guys, Trader Dan here. In this video we're going to cover top-down multi-time frame analysis, an advanced skill set, and I'm going to show you how to gain high-quality insight into where price is likely heading in the next trading session. We'll end the session by setting up some if-then scenarios. So for instance, if price breaks here, then we're likely to head here. You get the idea. But before we dive in, be sure to check out my series on volume profiling. If you're interested in learning how to read the day's price action, value shifts, data-driven levels, and gain an additional edge by being able to further anticipate future likely price moves, hit that subscribe button below and check it out. I cover the basics all the way to advanced techniques. Okay, before we begin, let me just start by saying that no analysis is 100% accurate. However, in my opinion and in trading experience, it's better to have the insight and let price action validate or invalidate your opinion rather than flying by the seat of your pants. So with that said, let's dive into the process and I'll show you where to start. Okay, so you're going to start by pulling up a chart that looks like this. You can break it out like this, or you can just use a single chart. Just make sure that you're using a trading software of your choice that allows you to move between time frames pretty seamlessly. Okay, so we're going to start here at the monthly. So I've got three time frames up here. I've got the monthly, I've got the weekly, and I've got the daily here to start with. Okay, and for those of you that are unfamiliar, this chart here on the monthly, each candle represents a full month's worth of time. So you've got your open, your low, your high, your close on these gray bars that are green up, and then you've got your on the black bars. These are the down bars. You've got your open, your high, your low, and your close. Each one of these represents the open of the month, the low of the month, the high of the month, and the close of the month. Okay, same thing with the weekly, just down on a weekly time frame. These are all weekly candles that represents 1 week worth of time. This represents a daily snapshot in time. Each candle does, that is. Okay, so we're going to start with the monthly. Okay, and real quickly, you don't really need to spend a whole lot of time on the monthly. All you're really doing is just getting an assessment of where are we in the last 3, 4, 5, 6 months. Get yourself rooted in the idea of where price is headed. So we are on a massive uptrend. This is the S&P 500 contract, by the way, current contract here of June of 2024. Okay, so we are on a massive uptrend here for the last really couple of years. You go all the way back to about September of 22. We've rallied, we've pulled back, and now we're rallying again. From these October lows here, 42.37, we've rallied all the way up almost or just over 1,000 points in the most at the upper end of these months. So really what you need to take away from here is you have February that closed pretty violently above January. You have March that closed pretty healthily above February, and now April is pulling back a little bit into March's price area here that we covered. We're about 50% of the way through, almost to the tick, 50% of the way through March's price action here for the beginning of April. We're only a few days into April. Okay, that's really all you need to take away from there. There's nothing you need to mark down, nothing you need to know other than we are in an uptrend. April's pulling back a little bit in this uptrend. Okay, moving into the weekly. What do we see on the weekly? Same thing. We're really not getting any really new information on the weekly. A lot of times you will get some new information, but really you've just got that same thing. Uptrend, we're in this trend channel to the upside. A couple weeks back, early March, looked like we were going to start a rotation. That failed with the Fed week. That blew the doors off to the upside. And then last week, we had that inside week. And now this week, it's Wednesday of this week, so we're already in the beginning of April here. We've got an outside week where we took out both sides of the prior week. Okay? That's really all you need to know. Prior week to the downside. Or the current week is an outside week to the downside. That's really all you need to take away from this. There's not much you need to mark up on this. So we'll go ahead and we'll just flip over to the daily. That's where you're going to mark up most of your levels. So really what I'm looking for here is I want relevant price action. So what I'm seeking to achieve is I'm looking to see what can I mark off here that's going to give me some sort of an insight as to where price is likely headed in the next trading session. Okay, so I'm going to look for imbalances. like this right here. I'm going to look for swing highs, swing lows, and I'm looking for psychological levels, the round 5200s, the 5250s, like right in there, and the 5300s, 5350s, and that's really all I'm going to do here. I'm just going to mark that up real quick. Okay, and that pretty much covers it on the daily. So we've got our levels on the macro to the upside, we've got levels to the downside, we've got some areas to fill in. Here, this gap has been filled, but these levels are still pretty relevant, so we'll keep them on there. There's no other imbalances other than until we get down here that haven't been filled. This one's been filled. Okay, so we're good on that front. So that's your daily, all right? So now we're gonna drop down to a 30-minute, okay? And what we're gonna do is we're gonna add a tool to this that helps us identify some intraday levels. We're gonna add a volume profile tool to our 30-minute, and then we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna assess some of the levels that we want to see. So let's zoom out for a second. Close this. Let's zoom out and kind of get a snapshot of a few days here. Let's close that. So we'll get a snapshot of a few days, and let's just kind of take a look at what we've got. Okay, so we have this was Wednesday of last week. Here was Thursday of last week where we wicked up above and then rotated back down. We got that lowercase b-shaped profile here. So we have this section here, right here and here, which is essentially partially an untested value area. So you want to start marking off some of these levels. You want to mark off your value area high from last week, or that's this untested one here. We'll start up at the top and we'll kind of work our way down. But really on the profiles, what you want to do is you want to assess where the untested levels are that price could reach to, okay? So you got your prior day value area high, and so we'll go ahead and do that on these. Now we're going to dip down into the 10-minute, okay? And we're just going to take a look and see if there's anything that we have missed, any relevant swing lows, swing highs that don't have a level to them. Okay, so now your levels are set. You have an intimate idea of where price has been and what can potentially happen with future price action. So for instance, if price breaks here, we're likely to go up here. Same thing to the downside. If price breaks here, we're likely to head down here, and so on and so forth, okay? All right, so it's important to understand that whether you're right or you're wrong on your daily bias or your movements, it's kind of irrelevant. You now have a roadmap to begin to frame trades around by going through this process and having that intimate knowledge of likely scenarios for the next trading session. All right, so now what? In the next video, I'm going to show you how to actually trade these levels using an order flow footprint chart to assess these levels as price hits them. It's not as easy as it looks, but I break that down in my order flow series. We'll see you there.